Have you ever had one of those trading days where no matter how hard you tried, the market just wouldn't cooperate? You fought it, gave it your all, and after all that effort, you still ended the day with a loss. And to make matters worse, that loss leaves you feeling terrible about yourself, not just about the money, but about you. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Let's dive into why that happens and, more importantly, how to handle it. You are listening to the Confidence in Trading podcast. I am your host, Agnieszka Wood, a trading mindset coach and a seasoned day trader with over a decade of experience. If you are new to my show, don't forget to subscribe so you can come back for the next episode. In this podcast, we explore the fascinating world of psychology and the human element of trading. We take a deep dive into different perspectives to inspire you and help you navigate the emotional ups and downs of trading with self-compassion and confidence. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro, this podcast is your trusted companion providing support on your trading journey. Get ready to boost your confidence and unlock the secrets to mastering your mindset for success. Welcome to episode number 39, Dealing with Losses in Trading. In today's episode, I want to talk about three important ingredients that will help you deal with your trading losses. Let's face it, losses are not fun. Who enjoys losing? Look around. Isn't life all about who wins? Who's better, faster, richer? Were brought up striving for perfection and avoiding mistakes. So it's no wonder that when we lose, especially due to our own mistakes, it can feel like something's been ripped out of us. It's like we are suddenly less. Then we start talking ourselves down, feeling guilt and shame. And before we know it, we feel even worse. And here's the tough part, it's not just your feelings that take a hit, your confidence, self esteem, and self trust are also damaged. The result? The next time you trade, you are trying to make back your losses, hoping this will help you feel better and regain some self respect. But let's be real here. This is a recipe for disaster. Why? Because now you are not trading a plan, you are trading your self worth. Your decisions are driven by your emotional state, not logic or strategy. Before you know it, you are stuck on an emotional roller coaster, spinning your wheels, but going nowhere. Trust me, I've been there myself. And the first instinct is to try to control your emotions. Unfortunately, that's too late. By the time you are dealing with the emotional fallout, you are at the end of the circuit. You need to go all the way back to the beginning of the domino effect. But here's the thing, not many traders realize that. I see traders beating themselves up on a daily basis for breaking the rules, repeating the same mistakes, and making impulsive decisions. And I'll be honest with you, it's heartbreaking to watch. Why? Because it's all just cause and effect. When your subconscious programming gets triggered, you end up playing out the same scenario over and over again. And if you don't even realize what program you're running, you are left thinking that there is something wrong with you. And that's a waste of your precious time. In fact, unless you are still in the early stages of development as a trader, where you blame external factors, the market, other traders, your platform, whatever, you will start blaming yourself. But either way, you are wasting time. Instead, that time could be used to build awareness, to understand what is triggering you, what program you are running, and how to change it. Can you see how feeling bad about yourself won't help? It won't change anything in your trading. You can promise yourself 1,000 times that you won't stick to that losing trade again. But I'm telling you from experience, those are empty promises. If you don't change the way you react to those triggers, you might become indifferent to the losses over time, but the losses won't stop. And just to clarify, I'm talking about the losses that aren't part of your plan, the ones that make all your hard work seem pointless and make you feel terrible about yourself. So, learning about your triggers and the subconscious programs running in the back of your mind is absolutely essential if you want to change your behavior. That's how you get off the emotional roller coaster for good and start building profit consistency in your trading. But today, I want to focus on the ingredients that can help you deal with losses in a more constructive way. Ingredients that will prevent losses from chipping away at your self esteem and confidence as a trader. And the three key ingredients are self compassion, self love, and self forgiveness. And all three of these prevent the feelings of guilt and shame, which, let's be real, are the driving forces behind the low self esteem and self destructive behaviors like revenge trading or even gambling. Studies in psychology consistently show that guilt and shame are powerful emotions that can lead to a vicious cycle of negative self perception and poor decision making. When we experience guilt, we tend to focus on specific actions or mistakes, but shame runs deeper. It's about feeling like we are flawed. And this distinction is critical because while guilt can sometimes motivate corrective actions, shame often leads to feelings of worthlessness and despair. In trading, these emotions can cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions like chasing losses or over leveraging as you try to prove yourself or regain what you have lost. Research on addiction behaviors, including gambling, highlights the parallels between emotional trading and addictive cycles, showing that when shame dominates, people are more likely to engage in risky behavior as a way to escape those painful feelings. So, by practicing self compassion, self love, and self forgiveness, you actively break this cycle, preventing those emotions from taking control and allowing you to approach trading with a clearer, more rational mindset. So, let's talk about self compassion. Self compassion is about treating yourself kindly, especially after a mistake or loss. Instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself, would I talk to a friend the way I'm talking to myself right now? And the answer is probably no. So why do it to yourself? Practice showing yourself the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to someone else in the same position. Trading is tough and losses are a natural part of the process. Show yourself self compassion. Show that you know you are capable of getting over it. And here are some practical ways how you can practice self compassion in your trading journey. First of all, when you experience a loss, don't try to bury or ignore your emotions. Instead, just take a moment and acknowledge how you feel, whether it's frustration, disappointment, or even fear. Naming your emotions is a key first step in processing them without judgment. And sometimes it just takes a moment. When you acknowledge the emotion, it's much easier to let it go. It's almost like it wants to be seen. Practice also self kindness statements. Replace your negative self talk with more compassionate phrases. For example, instead of saying, I'm such a terrible trader, I'm so stupid, just try, this was just one trade and I'm still learning. I will use this as a chance to grow. And you can create a list of go to self kindness statements so you can use it and you have it just right in front of you. So when you start being overly critical of yourself, you can just grab it and use it. Make sure you take some breaks to reset. When you feel overwhelmed by a loss, just step away from the screens, just take a walk, practice some deep breathing, or do something that brings you joy. By giving yourself a mental and physical break, you show compassion toward your well being. Another way is to keep a self compassion journal. At the end of each trading day, you can just write down one thing you did well, regardless of whether the day was profitable or not. This will help you to shift your focus from just the results to the process, reminding you to acknowledge progress, no matter how small. You can also engage in mindfulness practices like meditation, and that will help you stay present, allowing you to notice negative thoughts without attaching to them. And this creates space for self compassion as you learn to observe rather than react to your self critical thoughts. You can also visualize a supportive figure. When you're feeling down, imagine someone you respect offering you kind and encouraging words. This could be your coach or your trading mentor or a friend or even your future self. By thinking about how someone else would support you, you can adopt a more compassionate perspective on your situation. These practices help reinforce the idea that you deserve kindness, even when things don't go as planned. Remember, the way you treat yourself during tough moments is just as important as how you respond when things go well. Let's talk about self love. Self love isn't just about pampering yourself, it's about respecting yourself enough to take care of your mental and emotional well being. When you love yourself, you understand that your worth isn't tied to any single trait or outcome. It's about seeing yourself as worthy, regardless of your wins and losses. Self love reminds you that you don't have to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. And here are some ways to practice self love. First, set healthy boundaries. Self love involves knowing when to step away from the market. Set clear boundaries around your trading hours and don't push yourself beyond those limits just because you feel the pressure to make up for losses. Remember, part of loving yourself is creating space for balance and recovery. And when you trade, you need recovery. You are so much uptime. You need the downtime. You need the time to regulate your nervous system and to refill your energy, your mental capital, and your emotional capital. Make sure you celebrate progress, not just results. Take time to recognize your growth and your efforts, even if the trade didn't result in a win. Maybe you followed your strategy perfectly, or you showed discipline by sticking to your risk management rules. By celebrating these small victories, you confirm your progress, which builds a more positive relationship with yourself. Create daily self care rituals. I call it me time. Self love is about nurturing yourself regularly. So if you implement some daily habits that support your mental and emotional well-being, and it could be a morning routine where you prepare yourself mentally for a trading day, or maybe an evening wind down routine where you reflect and reset, maybe do some yin yoga, some meditation, whatever it is for you, find something that makes you feel peaceful and loved and that you feel good. You can also build a habit of repeating affirmations that will reinforce your self worth and confidence in yourself. Phrases like, I am enough as I am, or my value is not determined by today's outcome. They can really help shift your mindset toward greater self acceptance, even after challenging trading sessions. Make sure you surround yourself with positivity and engage with people and communities and environments that uplift you. And whether it's talking to a supportive friend or maybe joining a group of like minded traders, just make sure that it makes you feel good. Do not join those groups that keep talking about problems and remind you about those things that make you feel bad about yourself. Having positive influences around you reinforces your self worth and will help you maintain perspective. Focusing on self acceptance is a big part of self love. Embracing your imperfections and accepting that making mistakes is simply part of life, part of the learning process. It's not a reflection of your worth. Self love is about seeing the whole of who you are and understanding that your value isn't diminished by setbacks or losses. What is really important also to do things that make you happy outside of trading, things that bring you joy and fulfillment, some activities in other areas of your life that are nurturing, that are reminding you that you are a multidimensional person with passions and interests beyond the market. Don't make trading your whole world. And this will really help you prevent trading outcomes from defining your self worth. And forgive yourself for past mistakes. Part of self love is letting go of past trading missteps. Just reflect on those mistakes, learn from them, see them as feedback, and release them. Holding on to them does not serve you. And forgiveness is an act of self love that allows you to move forward without carrying this emotional burden of past errors. Practicing self love helps you remember that your value is inside, not dictated by external circumstances like market performance. When you love yourself fully, you create a foundation for healthier, more mindful trading decisions that come from a place of confidence and security, not desperation or fear. We all make mistakes, and trading is no exception. But holding on to those mistakes, that's what weighs you down. Forgive yourself for the bad trades, the missed opportunities, and the poor decisions. Learn from them, but don't let them define your journey. Self forgiveness is freeing. It allows you to move forward with a clean slate, to create a new story about yourself as a trader, ready to take on the next challenge without the baggage of the past. So, how can you practice self forgiveness? The first step is to acknowledge the mistake honestly and without denial. Recognize what went wrong, whether it was a miscalculation, an emotional decision, or a deviation from your plan. Owning your mistakes without trying to minimize them is key to releasing them. Try to reframe the mistake as a learning opportunity. Instead of seeing them as failures, try to see them as valuable lessons. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Whether it's a technical lesson or an emotional one, every mistake can offer insight into becoming a better trader. And this shift in perspective will help you embrace mistakes as part of the growth process. Forgiveness becomes much easier when you let go of the need to be perfect. I know, high achievers. It's tough not to be perfect, right? But trading is uncertain, and perfectionism can lead to an unrealistic standard that only increases stress and pressure. Just accept that mistakes are part of the journey and focus on progress, not perfection. Writing a forgiveness letter to yourself can be a very powerful exercise. You can write a letter to yourself where you express forgiveness for a specific mistake or a series of trading mistakes. And in this letter, you acknowledge what happened, but also express compassion and willingness to let go of the guilt. And writing it down can help you solidify the act of forgiveness in your mind. It becomes more tangible. You put it on paper and you let it out of your system. After forgiving yourself, set a clear intention or action plan moving forward. And this could be something like reinforcing a rule you broke or reviewing your traits more mindfully. By focusing on the future rather than dwelling on the past and keep looking back, you give yourself a proactive way to move forward. Some traders find it helpful to have a physical or a symbolic way to mark a fresh start, like a clean slate ritual. And this could be something as simple as closing your trade journal at the end of the difficult week and starting a new one, or taking a break and resetting your mindset. This ritual helps you mentally separate past mistakes from future opportunities. Self forgiveness is closely tied to self compassion. Remind yourself that mistakes are part of being human, and it's okay to stumble as you learn. Just look at small kids, how they learn to walk. You also don't tell a kid to just stop trying after the first time they fell. Be gentle with yourself during the process of forgiving and moving on. Recognize the impact on unresolved guilt. Holding on to guilt can affect future trading decisions, leading to hesitation, fear, or even overcompensation. And by forgiving yourself, you release this emotional burden and clear the path for more rational and less emotionally charged decisions. This can directly impact your performance in a positive way. And sometimes just one round of forgiveness doesn't feel like enough, and that's okay. Self-forgiveness can come in layers. Maybe you forgive yourself for one aspect of the mistake today and then revisit it later and let go of any other lingering emotions. Give yourself the time, give yourself the space to fully process and release the mistake. Forgiving yourself is not about erasing the mistake, but it's about releasing the emotional weight that comes with it. When you allow yourself to let go of the guilt, you clear the mental clutter that can cloud your judgment, allowing yourself to trade with a fresh mindset and a renewed sense of purpose. So, next time you find yourself struggling with the loss, remember to lean into these ingredients: self compassion, self love, and self forgiveness. They are not going to make your losses disappear, but they will give you the mental resilience to handle them without losing sight of who you are and what you are capable of. Trading isn't just about mastering the market, it's about mastering yourself. The sooner you learn to treat yourself with the kindness and respect you deserve, the more you will find that losses don't define you. They just become part of your journey toward becoming a better trader. Be kind to yourself, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Confidence in Trading podcast. If you are enjoying my show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and tell me what you like about it. Thanks to you, more traders will be able to find me, and together we will make a bigger impact. So thank you for your support. And if you are new to my show, don't forget to subscribe so you can come back for the next episode. And make sure to check out some of the previous shows too. Thank you again for tuning in. This is Agnieszka Wood from My Head Coach. Bye for now.